And Johnny, it's time to close out the podcast. Talking about a little bit of Suicide Squad. And before we get into it, make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluable podcast. If you want to find things out like how Mark and I thought or what we thought of Avengers versus X-Men, that is now on Patreon before it comes out next week. If you want to know what happened to Dave's thumb, Dave hurt his thumb.
I want to know what happened to Dave's thumb.
You can for as low as $1 on patreon.com/mostvaluable.
I could just text Dave.
Right now. No, I told him not to. He can't tell you till May. Contractually obligated. Mandubla obligated.
I believe there's a thing around that I'm part of the MVP crew.
I put in a contract. He signed it in his own blood.
I never signed a contract.
In his own blood from said thumb, he signed it.
So he cut his thumb.
Well, he hurt his thumb. But how did he hurt his thumb?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You gotta find out. It's a great 20-minute story out of Dave. And then we talked for another hour after that about stuff. So it's a great podcast, the MVP podcast. You can check it out now on Patreon for $1 a month before everyone else gets to see it. And Johnny, let's get into what we are going to talk about. And that is Suicide Squad 2 has another new member. This is like Super Smash, where it's like a new challenger has approached.
But still not Waluigi.
No, it's never Waluigi.
Everybody cheats.
Yeah, no, it's not Waluigi. But the newest member that could be joining the Suicide Squad 2 cast, Johnny, for our audio listeners, you'll have to wait a second. But for the video listeners... That was probably very out of tune.
Oh, very much so. We should do better than that.
No. But speaking of, in the Pet Cemetery one,
yeah,
when we did at the very end, the I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. I listened to it as we recorded it, and I was like, I don't know, that sounded like we were off. I think I was like off. And then I listened to it, and I was like, all right, we were pretty on. It wasn't off like I thought it was. So I'm hoping the do was the same thing. But
no,
John
I don't think it was.
Cena is going to be given some attitude adjustments to some evildoers. Well, he'd be an evildoer. To some anti-villains. No, he'd be the anti-villain. Just people in the DC universe.
Other villains.
He's going to be given some attitude adjustments to. And saying, you can't see me. The rumors are that he is either going to be playing Peacemaker or King Shark. However, there are more people that are rumored that he could be looking at as well. Johnny, I want to ask you this, of what John Cena's involvement in Suicide Squad 2 means, because he's a guy with, I would say, a wide range in his acting. From his WWE time when he was the doctor of thugonomics and basically wore a literal chain around his neck and rapped and talked about word life, to becoming the John Cena that we all knew, where it was like the ultimate baby face of like top of the company, kids love me, I'm the guy you look up to, what was it, respect, loyalty, and hustle was his whole thing. Then he broke out into movies, and we saw the funny side in like Blockers or Cock Blockers, the movie where he was in, where the daughters make a sex pact and they're going to get laid at prom.
Yeah.
And then him and the other parents try to stop him. He's been in those movies, but he's also taken on serious roles like Bumblebee this past year.
He was about that.
The sergeant in Bumblebee, which is a more serious role than he was in Blockers. What do you think he means to Suicide Squad 2? And are you assuming it's going to be more of a comedic role for him because James Gunn is directing this?
I would hope and think it would be more the comedic side of it, because that's kind of what they were like. It was the dark comedy-esque, where it's like, it's not dark comedy where you got like these raunchy jokes necessarily like you see some stand-up comedians do. More of like the, hey, we're a bunch of villains and we got kind of a twisted sense of humor type thing. And yeah, that might seem sort of almost parallel from what the description, but
Yeah.
You kind of watch Suicide Squad 1, you kind of get the idea of what I mean. What I mean with the tweak of difference is. So I'm hoping he can harness that because I didn't see either of those movies. So I don't, and I'd never watched wrestling. So I'll be honest, I don't know Cena's acting chops.
I would never say never. You were at WWE Raw with me.
Okay, I've never seen Cena in anything.
We're changing that, though. We are changing that. We're getting you more into, like Dave told me to tell you, he's like, just tell Johnny that wrestling is real life, like real life people with anime storylines. It's anime in real life. That's basically what it is. Like these storylines.
Sounds about right.
These storylines you would not believe in real life because wrestling isn't real.
I kind of wanna take anime like the beginning of
Like
My Hero Academia.
Like the ones me and you were sending back and forth, like Thor with an anime intro.
Yes, but I want to take like a wrestling and like put like the beginning of My Hero to it.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing that I want to like. Okay, that's why. So the reason why John Cena is even in talks, like before I was even going to say the words out of my mouth, the reason why he is in talks to join Suicide Squad 2 is because Batista's out.
Like, is he out?
This is from What Culture. And they say Suicide Squad 2, John Cena in talks to replace Dave Batista. This is from the What Culture article. Variety is reporting that John Cena is in talks to play an undisclosed role in the Suicide Squad 2, which Justin Kroll has confirmed on Twitter would be the same role eyed for Batista before he had to pass. Let me see if they have any reasons of why he got out. Quite who that would be remains to be seen, but the role clearly requires a serious amount of muscle mass and comedy chops if they're looking at Cena. So far, he's had a strong showing in Hollywood, following up great supporting roles in Trainwreck, Daddy's Home, and Sisters, and the underrated Blockers, Ferdinand, and the brilliant Bumblebee. He could legitimately be the next Rock, or be the next The Rock, and the sooner someone signs him up to play a comic book movie character, the better. Does this mean he's going to be Peacekeeper? Because Peacekeeper was the one that we were talking about when we talked Dave Batista in Suicide Squad 2.
Well, they had what? 4 or 5 they wanted to add to the lineup. And you and I kind of broke it down to 3 that he could go. And one of them was Peacekeeper. One of them was Rat Trap, right?
Yep. The Rat Catcher. And then King Shark. If they're talking about like not Bautista, Batista. It's funny because you don't realize, like, you can say Bautista, but WWE fans think like
I don't realize that it's actually something else.
Here's the deal, Johnny. I'm gonna and WWE fans can correct me if I'm wrong. But when you say Bautista, you can say it that way. Just WWE fans are gonna think you don't like Dave Batista. That you're not a fan of him.
Batista. We narrowed it down to those 3. If they're talking about the physicality of Cena, though, then they're probably gonna just kind of cut out King Shark, because that's, to me, I think it's gonna be a voiceover. Someone in a motion capture suit.
You don't think King Shark could be prosthetics like we saw with Hellboy?
Maybe, but isn't he like free? I mean, from what I remember him in The Flash, the TV series, he's freaking huge.
Yeah.
He's like Hulk, basically.
True.
But a shark.
Shark Hulk. They could probably CGI it.
I would say that, and then the voiceover, basically. My thought, though, would be then you're going to want it to either be Ratcatcher or Peacekeeper, and I would think it'd be best to do Peacekeeper.
Yeah, the reason
especially also someone kind of replace Will Smith's role.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Idris Elba, because we even talked about this since we talked about it.
I did forget that we didn't talk about it on the show.
Is not Deadshot.
No, he's
going
not.
to be a different character. So they're leaving the door open for possibly Will Smith to return in a future installment.
Which is good. They shouldn't.
Or if he wants to do a Deadshot movie.
Yeah, but that's good because they don't cut him out and they don't kind of ruin the franchise for themselves. And like, hey, we kind of recasted this major character. What if we make Idris Elba Ratcatcher?
Okay.
And then, I almost said Batista again. Cena as Peacekeeper.
To me, I am leaning towards making John Cena Peacekeeper.
Because we sort of need someone to kind of take that role again. There's got to be at least one guy whose main weapon is a gun. Because it just feels, to me, it feels right in that kind of pair up movie, I guess I can say.
Let's see if we have any sort of, does Variety tell us at all? Variety first reported in February. No, it doesn't. I thought they would have like a little scoop of maybe which one he was playing. I'm leaning towards John Cena as Peacekeeper though. Yeah. And the reason why is if I'm going to read just the TLDR, too long didn't read, for Peacekeeper, here it is. Peacekeeper is a superhero and soldier who loves peace so much he's willing to kill for it. Originally, he was a pacifist diplomat who used strictly non-lethal weapons, although over time he developed a more violent vigilante willing to make sacrifices for the greater good. The character has been associated with Checkmate, The Shadow Fighters, League Busters, and Living Assault Weapons. Peacekeeper was created by Joe Gill and Pat Boyette, originally published by Carlton Comics in Fighting 5 number 40 in 1966. So that to me, correct me if I'm wrong, could have a little comedic in it of the vigilante who used to be a diplomat and was very pacifist.
Yeah, it could be like
could joke around that it's kind of ironic he is the way he is right now.
Yeah, I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be funny if the first shot he does and like kills someone in front of the group. Like, I thought you were a pacifist. Used to be a pacifist.
Yeah, or
some joke along the lines of that.
What if in the movie is him changing from pacifist to more violent? Could that be?
No, because he wouldn't be part of the Suicide Squad then.
Yeah, right.
The crimes already had to have been committed.
You're right. No, you're right. Because
otherwise that would be a cool dynamic to go around. But
because I just don't think that King Shark is. I think that Peacekeeper could be more comedic than King Shark. That's what I'm trying to say.
I feel like if you could get him back, but I think it said he had contractual problems or something like that. Or
you're talking about Batista?
Batista, yeah. What was his issues again? They couldn't do it?
I'm assuming contractual because he's supposed to be in Dune, I think.
Oh.
I think there was that.
If you can get someone with his kind of voice, kind of low.
Oh, I know what it has to be. So, Suicide Squad. No, scratch that because James Gunn is doing Suicide Squad. I wonder if it's. Here's what I wonder. I wonder if it's a non-compete. I wonder
Disney,
if it's because.
Non-compete.
So I wonder if it's because Disney has James Gunn back in Guardians 3.
Yeah.
He's for sure going to do that. And because of that, if there's a non-compete in his contract, that makes it to where he can't do DC.
Okay.
That's
that
what
would
I'm
make
wondering.
sense. Well, get someone with the kind of the low guttural voice he has. And I would love to have seen.
You bunch of gutter trash.
Yes, you stinking gutter trash.
What was the one that was the one that we make fun of a lot? The Wolverine from that X-Men series. It was the what kind of an accent was it?
Oh, his Australian accent.
Yeah, I was trying to think of what
Australian
accent that was.
Wolverine. Well, actually, it was a prediction then.
True, it was. It was a very good
thinking
prediction.
about it.
But getting back to Suicide Squad, I don't even know where we left off on. That just derailed us completely. We were talking about Batista and the non-compete.
The non-compete. Get someone with the low guttural voice that he kind of has.
That's where we left
and
off.
What I was about to say was, with the acting chops of kind of not seeming very, like, knowing the, like, humanized traits. Like, in Guardians of the Galaxy, how many times has he been, like, Drax, don't say that. Drax, don't do that. We don't do like all that kind of stuff. We don't do that. We don't say that kind of stuff.
Very like, there's no filter.
Exactly, no filter. Do the same thing. King Shark style I feel like King Shark would be the same way.
Is there a chance Idris Elba could be King Shark? I don't think so.
Maybe, but I feel like that's not the voice to fit it. But obviously, no matter what with King Shark, I feel like they're gonna do some voice changing anyways. Whether it be like sort of like the Hulk, where they kind of like double over or triple over the voice. Because I know like the Hulk roar, at least for the first one, and I mean the Edward Norton first one, not the Ang Lee first one.
Yeah.
I think it was, God, or was that Avengers? One of those two. The roar and the little bit of talking was doubled over with Lou Ferrigno's voice.
Okay.
It was like the actor's voice, then Lou Ferrigno's voice doubled over it. So I think that's pretty cool.
Let's see if this has any new information. Nope, that still has him as Deadshot, which is wrong. Because I'm trying to look up characters that he might be, and here's one I'm going to throw out because they did it on Arrow, I believe, and in the comics, he's an actual tiger. In Arrow, he was just a guy with like Wolverine type claws that like he attached to his hands. So they weren't like Wolverine claws in him. They were just like things he held wristbands for.
He wore them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those.
What about Bronze Tiger for Idris Elba? And just to kind of
give the synopsis because I don't know him that well either.
So in Suicide Squad, let's see. You know what? I'll give the early years. So Ben Turner comes from an upper middle class black neighborhood in Central City. When he was 10 years old, he saw a burglar, if I could speak, attacking his parents, and he proceeded to kill the man with a kitchen knife. In an effort to control the rage inside him, Turner turns to martial arts and eventually crime. After some time, Turner decides to travel to the Far East in order to finally come to the terms with his demons. There he meets the O-Sensei and studies under him. Together with later recruit Richard Dragon, the meeting between Turner and Dragon serves as the start for the series Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter. Sometime after, they are approached by Barry Ling from the organization called GOOD, the Global Organization of Organized Defense. And there, reluctantly working for Ling, served as the basis for the Kung Fu Fighter series. Then he was in the League of Assassins for a little bit. During his time, he trains with the assassin David Kane's daughter, Cassandra, together with own members of the League of Assassins, the Bronze Tiger. Because he channels Turner would rid his inner demons by channeling them into the identity, the Bronze Tiger. So after his time in the Leagues of Assassin, he becomes then the Bronze Tiger. And then after that, learning of his true identity, King Fardelay sets up a rescue squad of Rick Flag and Nightshade. They retrieved the tiger, and he was deprogrammized by Amanda Waller, who would later run the Suicide Squad. So this is one where I could possibly see being Idris Elba's character if they're not going to do Deadshot. Like, have him play the character that can fit his type of personality, because Idris Elba, in many movies that we've seen, even like The Dark Tower, he's very good at playing a character that has a dark past.
Exactly.
Twisted past.
Dark and twisted past, kind of just straight edge. And I don't want to necessarily see straight edge in his own way, but like doesn't
take shit from no one.
Doesn't have a ton of compassion. The only one that he had compassion in was as Heimdall.
Yeah. Heimdall, he wasn't really. But he also, I think, wanted to play a villain in the MCU.
He wanted to play a bigger role.
That's okay. That's it. I thought he wanted to play a villain in the MCU.
No, he wanted to play a bigger role. But I mean, I could see him as doing that role too. Like those would be my two then, either as a rat catcher or as Bronze Tiger.
Because
then.
we don't know for sure. All the rosters that were set up were when we thought he was Deadshot.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't know if they're going to make him rat catcher, if they're going to put him as someone else. But it'll be interesting to see because right now, I'm liking the roster we have so far. Captain Boomerang is back. Margot Robbie will be there. Idris Elba. And then John Cena. Like, that's the roster maybe we should have had the first time. Like, it's kind of like, maybe if we put some actual good stars in the roles, the movie might be good.
Put some names that people are going to pull into.
Like Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista.
Yep.
I'm going to say Zoe
Saldana.
Yeah, was she really? I'm going to pull up her IMDb.
I don't honestly know.
Real quickly.
Vin Diesel.
That's right. For
Bradley Cooper.
That's right. I forgot about those.
So you had big names. When
I forget about them because I don't see their face.
Exactly. That's why I said them too.
Rocket doesn't even sound like Bradley
No, he
Cooper.
doesn't.
Can I just say that?
To be fair, again though, this is like what 2 now at least that we know. Oh, hey, they don't sound anything.
Yeah, still doesn't sound like him. Let's see.
Doesn't sound like
Guardians
Bradley
of the Galaxy 1 was in 2014.
Yes.
Rosemary's Baby, I didn't see that, but I've heard about it.
Heard of it.
She was in Blood Ties.
Nope.
Oh, that's where I knew her from. So before Guardians, she was in Star Trek.
Never
She
saw
was
that one
Uhura in Star Trek. That's where I knew her from. Yeah, she was in Star Trek Avatar, but I never saw Avatar. Let's see, I'm trying to look. Oh, God. She was in The Terminal. Is that the movie I think it is? Oh, God, she's got that on her resume. Have you ever seen The Terminal?
No.
Tom Hanks movie? Don't see it. It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. One of the worst movies. And it makes me sick because Tom Hanks is a great actor and an American treasure. And it's one of the worst movies that I've ever seen. I can't believe she has that on her resume. But okay. Wow, she was in Drumline too? Damn.
You're naming all movies I haven't seen.
You haven't seen Drumline?
Nope.
You were in marching band and never saw Drumline?
Nope.
Oh, we gotta change that, kid.
I
We have
also
to change that real
I also
soon.
wasn't part of the drum line.
Man, we have to change it. Yeah, but I get it's not roll step like drum corps marching style, but like I feel like almost every kid that's in marching band should watch Drumline.
I had to watch Mr. Holland's Opus like 8 times.
Yeah, never saw that one.
Well, see?
I saw parts of it.
Nope. I watched it at least 4 times.
I should have because he teaches her clarinet.
Exactly.
So, any final things in this before we close up shop?
No, it sounds like a good cast list so far. I'd be curious to know who they're casting as what.
So,
but yeah, no, it's the same
funny
concept
thing, real
that we're
quick.
bringing up.
I'm going to cut you off rudely, really quick.
Yeah, as usual.
So, Zoe Saldana, you know what she's got as 2 are in post, 2 are in pre on her IMDb.
Yeah.
Avatar 2 and 3 are in post production. Avatar 4 and 5 are in pre production. 5 avatars, man.
Why? So many.
Disney. That's
Are
why.
we like cutting them in half at least or something? Because wasn't that like a 2.5 hour movie? I never actually saw Avatar either.
So Avatar 2's in 2020. 2021 is 3. Then 2024 and 2025.
God damn it, James Cameron, calm the fuck down.
Well, now it's Disney. Disney owns it.
Yeah, but James Cameron isn't he directing it?
Yeah, I think so.
He needs to calm the fuck down.
Let's see, Avatar 2.
I thought he directed the first one.
He did. Yeah, he did the characters, the screenplay. So he wrote the damn thing, and he's directing it.
He needs to calm the fuck down.
So go ahead with what you were saying before I was cutting you off.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to remember what it was. So like, it's just like Guardians. Actually, they weren't that. We had at least 2 really big name actors. I wouldn't say at the time Chris Pratt was a huge name actor. I mean, if you watched Parks and Rec, you knew him. I don't know if he was in anything
I'll pull
else.
up the IMDb page.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Batista, you knew from wrestling. Otherwise, I don't think he was big in wrestling. I don't know if you knew him in any other movies though.
Well, he didn't make the jump to Hollywood yet. But he was pretty big in the WWE.
That's what I'm saying. You would know him if you knew wrestling though.
Yeah.
And then we already went over Zoe's list. So I mean,
And
you had 2 really.
Did you say Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper?
I said Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper first.
For Fast and the Furious.
You had
and
those.
Hangover.
Yeah, you knew those 2 names really well. So those were like your big names, and that's what you kind of should have had more so with Suicide Squad 1. with some at least like the big names you kind of have with Suicide Squad 2. You have Idris Elba, you have John Cena, you have Margot Robbie, which is coming back. You have, did we say anyone else?
So I'm looking at it here.
Because like what, you had Will Smith and Margot Robbie in the first one that were really, really big names.
Yeah, and Jared Leto.
And Jared Leto. I forgot Jared Leto. Because I wanted to forget Jared Leto.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Jared
reminding
Leto.
me.
I mean, he's a big name. And plus, when you play the Joker, everyone's going to kind of obsess over you as an actor. So Chris Pratt, let's see, where's Parks and Rec? So Parks and Rec was like, what, 2011?
Sure.
That same year, he was in Moneyball, which I don't think you've seen because it's a baseball movie.
Nope.
He was in...
Good assessment, Ricky.
He was in Zero Dark 30, which was a big movie. He was in movie 43, which was like a... what kind of movie am I describing that? It's like an American Pie type, where it's like a scary movie. Not How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Oh, fuck. What was that?
Scary movie spoof?
Yeah, like a spoof movie. What's the one I'm thinking about that was making fun of all like the teen movies?
Not another teen movie.
Not another teen movie. That was the one I'm thinking. I was like, Chris Evans was in it. He was also in Her, the Joaquin Phoenix one where he falls in love with like the
phone
Siri app.
Scarlett Johansson, I think, was the voice.
And the same year, this is why Chris Pratt skyrocketed. The same year he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, the Lego movie.
Yeah. But the reason I'm saying that, though, is like, okay, so see, you're kind of proving my point. You had some bigger names in there then. When I said, like, yeah, they took a group of superheroes that people didn't really know.
But you were right.
Unless
Chris Pratt would have been on the side of he just started to jump off the year Guardians was coming out.
Yeah, but what I'm basically saying is you had some, like, what I was actually trying to prove was you had some at least well-known names, if
like
not
Bradley
bigger
Cooper
names.
and Groot.
Those two, but you had like Chris Pratt kind of starting to skyrocket, so it's like, hey, let's latch onto that. You had Batista, who was kind of big in wrestling at least, and you had Zoe, who we went over her kind of resume as you called it.
Yeah.
So you kind of have an idea of like what all these people like. So we had at least somewhat bigger names, if not big names. Whereas it's kind of what you should have done in Suicide Squad 1.
Yeah.
We had Will Smith, Jared Leto, and Margot Robbie.
Yeah. No, I agree.
3 names, and what was Margot Robbie in before that, other than Wolf of Wall Street?
And I haven't even seen. Brandon is.
I did because I was made to go see that.
Brandon is upset that I've not seen Wolf of
Wall Street.
Yeah, that one.
Which I actually was surprised I liked because it's not my type of movie.
I feel like I would have no problem with it.
Well, I didn't think I was gonna like it, and the person I went to see it with didn't like it, and I did.
So let's see.
So,
the same
kind of funny turnaround.
The same year as Suicide Squad, she was in The Legend of Tarzan as Jane Clayton.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so she was in Legend of Tarzan. Before that, she was in The Big Short, which was a Oscar Academy Award winning or Oscar nominated movie.
Okay.
I think The Big Short was the one with I'm going to pull it up because I can't remember the actors. Yeah, there's one with like Steve Carell. It was about the housing, the mortgage market crisis.
Okay.
That was going on. So she was uncredited, but she was in that movie.
So kind of small
Then she
role.
was in, let's see. What's funny is in Family Guy, The Quest for Stuff, she was Harley Quinn. She was the voice of Harley Quinn.
That's funny.
In Family Guy, The Quest for Stuff in 2014. 2013, she was in The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, I would say the only 2 big things she was in before Suicide Squad was Wolf of Wall Street, The Big Short, Legend of Tarzan potentially, but I don't think that did that well.
May have helped her spring a little bit in.
And then, well, that was the same
that
year
year
as Suicide.
I'd say may have helped her spring in for that year a little bit. Kind of got her name back out there.
Yeah,
if it came beforehand.
Because then she was in, after that in 2017, I, Tonya, which was the movie about Tanya Harding, the Olympic skater that Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also Goodbye Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
She was also in that. So
But
she
yeah.
kind of jumped after Suicide Squad.
Yeah. So I mean, her name was out there, but again, wasn't like hugely known.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Where now I'm not saying you have to get more people like these. These three can be your let's hold it down.
Yeah.
And now you can get the people where it's like, hey, good actor, let's catapult. Like your Tom Holland type guys.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
what I'll say.
So no one really
girls.
knows who you are, but we know you're a really good actor, so we're gonna throw you in there with these really big names.
Because like when they got Tom Holland for Spider-Man, no one was expecting him to be what he is now.
No, exactly.
Like people were upset that why didn't they take Andrew Garfield? Andrew Garfield's my Spider-Man. This guy is he's kind of really good. Okay, I'm
he's
sorry,
really
Andrew
good at this,
Garfield.
actually.
Go bye. We're done with you. Kind of a thing. But this is where I turn to you guys. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section when it comes to Suicide Squad 2. What do you think of John Cena coming aboard? What do you think he's going to bring for the movie? Make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluable podcast. We're trying to get our own studio, get out of this glass case of emotion, which is our little 10 by 10, 10 by 12?
man punted Baxter.
10 by 12 room that we decided we're
Something
just
like
going to,
that.
without measuring, that's what we're going to say. It's a 10 by 12 room.
We eyeballed it.
It's a box, basically. Like, we are in a box every single time, and I would love to get out of here sooner rather than later. That's
We want
how
to be
you
in a
help
different
us.
box.
Well, a bigger box. No, not a box is what I'm preferring. An actual, like, space is what I would really like. Also, make sure to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcast and iTunes. It would really mean the world to us. Thank you guys for checking out the podcast sooner than we usually are. We'll be back at our regular scheduled time next week. I want to thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.